Charlie here for Only Christ Redeems OCR, and I'm just making this video to tell you about my marathon that I ran yesterday. So today is Sunday, December 9th, 2018. Yesterday I ran my first marathon race. So this is my third time doing this distance. I did it a couple times in training, and it's only like my fourth time ever doing 20 miles or more. So I probably should have done a little bit more of those, but I think overall though, my results were pretty good. I ran 3 hours and 23 minutes and some seconds after that. So under 3 hours and 24 minutes. So I think I'm pretty good for the first one, not bad considering I just started running like a year and a half ago, really seriously running. Before that I was doing like maybe 10, maybe 15 miles a week, but since then I've upped it to like 20, 30, 40, 50. I think sometimes I've even done 60 miles a week. So the first like 20 miles I was actually doing pretty good. I think I was averaging 7 minutes and 20 seconds per mile up to that point. And then it was probably around then I started slowing down. My miles started being in the 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes per mile. And so my time kept creeping up and up. And then once I got to mile like 24, that's when it really hit me and my legs were really, really sore. And I was just pushing through those last 2 miles. It ended up being like 9.5 minutes per mile. And so I ended up averaging like 7:44 per mile or something like that. I don't remember. So overall, I'm pretty happy. It was a mostly downhill course. So there were some good things and some bad things. The good thing is it was mostly downhill and it was nice weather. Tucson in the wintertime is really nice. So I'm kind of curious how I would do if it was flat. I don't know if I'd be able to do as fast. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. And then the thing about that though is if you don't do like a loop or back and forth, then you have to have a shuttle take you from where you park to where the beginning of the race is. So we had to do that, which meant we had to get there like really early. The race was started at 7 and the shuttles left, they said from 4:40 to 5:20 the shuttles would be leaving. So like 2 hours before the race started, that's when you had to be there to do the shuttle, which is pretty early. So that means I had to wake up at like 3:45 to get there by 4:30, which was a little tough to do, and then run a marathon. And then, so then the shuttles take you up, and the speed limit was really low because of the marathon, and they had all these cones out, and the speed limit was like 35 for most of the drive, so it took forever to get there. And then we had drop bags, which are pretty cool, so you just put your stuff in this bag and then they take it in the bus, and then when you're done with the marathon they have them all at the finish line and you get your bag back. So that was nice. I also really liked that the timer was live results, which a lot of places have that now, but there's still some places that don't have that, i.e. Terrain race. Yeah, I did terrain race, and every time I do it I'm always like, all right, what place did I get? Because I know I'm not in the top like 5 or even the top 10, but maybe in the top 20 or so, and I'm like, okay, well, what place did I get exactly? Well, they don't upload their results, and so I still have no idea what place I got from months ago. So that's one thing I don't like about terrain races. But other than that, with the half marathon, I did have some stomach issues. I don't know exactly what that was from. I have a feeling maybe because of the belt I was using, and I had it like full of like gels, and maybe that made it tighter and maybe gave me some issues. I don't know. I also stopped to pee like 3 times during the race, which isn't super uncommon for that distance, but like I can go like usually like a half marathon, no problems. But for some reason when I do full marathon, it's like 2-3 times I have to go. Again, that could be because of the belt. Maybe the belt's like pushing on my bladder and making me need to pee more. I don't know. Or maybe like I overdo it with the hydration. That's one of the toughest things for me is I want to be hydrated, but I don't want to have to pee during the race, so I don't know what to do. I try not to drink a lot, and then I still end up needing to go, so we'll see how that goes. Fueling wise, I did eat. I had like a piece of bread with some peanut butter on it in the morning, and then maybe I just had too much soft stuff after that, like a banana. I had a little bit of electrolyte drinks, like Nun in water. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Nun packets. I also think I had like an electrolyte fizz packet in there. And then I had some, I think I had an electrolyte gel. I forget the exact name of the brand. I also had like a beet juice packet that I had, and I had that before the race. And so I felt good for the first, mile, and then my stomach started feeling weird. But my first half marathon, I think I actually PR'd in it. It was like an hour 36, which my last PR was an hour 39, but that was also really, really windy. I actually got first place in that race, but like I said, not a lot of fast people showed up for that one. And actually, since it was on a Saturday, this is one of the things about like doing races, like was it obstacle races or other races, usually they're on the weekend, like Saturday or Sunday. So like I play music at my church, so I got to get people to like switch around and cover, which is kind of frustrating sometimes. But so I end up, instead of playing guitar on Saturday, I played guitar on Sunday at my church. By the way, if you're a Christian and you're not involved in your church, you should get involved. The body of Christ needs you to be involved. Instead of thinking about, okay, yourself, how's the church going to help me? You should be thinking, how can I help the church? And that, I think, will not only help people that are visiting that maybe haven't made that commitment yet, but I think it'll also help you with your walk with God. Like sometimes it's getting involved and and getting to know people that are at the church. Like being in the band, I get to know all the band members, and I think that also helps just to keep me like following God and making sure that I'm held accountable for things that I do. And then still got the Spartan race in February. Looking forward to that. So I think I'm going to start working on shorter speed runs soon. Probably in a week or two, work on intervals, getting my mile time up. I think that'll be really helpful. But still working on the distance. You got to do both. You got to keep things varied, work on short distance, work on long distance, work on hills. And I'm going to be doing all that. So looking forward to it. February, Spartan race. So this is Charlie with Only Christ Redeems OCR, and have yourself a good evening.